Welcome back to the show. Check out these headlines. 17 trillion cross-border payments, B2B 174 trillion. We'll tell you when. Ripple fuels almost biblical migration. Freedom of speech is under attack like never before. We've got so much going on. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $2.17 trillion market cap for cryptocurrency. The market is off by 1.5. 59,200 plus as Bitcoin falls 0.7 into 24, but off by 7.7 on the 7-day. Ethereum off by 8.4 on the 7-day at 2,500. Tether, $118 billion plus market cap. USDC is at number 6 spot at $34 billion plus market cap, and XRP is at 56 cents at the number 7 spot. We're up 0.3 on the 24 and off by 7.4 on the 7-day. Look at the range of price between 55 and 57 cents. So we're actually turning around from bouncing off the 55 level overnight here. I don't know about you, but this is going the wrong way. No, I'm kidding. Look, here's what I've always believed, and it's the reason. I know a lot of you are like, Brad, it's not funny. We've been doing this for a long time. I know we have. And I'm not trying to be insensitive to people to have a lesser threshold for risk, right? But here's what I understand. I've understood myself that for me personally, and I'm not trying to sell anybody a used car, but for me personally, I don't expect the things that I'm truly looking for until after we get U.S. legislation, that clarity at that level here at home. Now, once we get that, and it's quite clear that the SEC, the OCC, and FSOC, and the Fed, and the Treasury, and everybody else is on board with clarity, and the world can begin using these assets inside their business practice and model, then I'll be looking for the kind of things we have talked about for so many years. But that's what gives me the ability to crack a joke. That's what gives me the ability to have fun with it, because I know until we have that, we're not where we really need to be. But I will welcome any upward price movement in the interim, calling out all spirit animals. So, look, before we get started very quickly here, I want to remind people, because this is serious. I've been affected, and I've had so many people reach out to me that are affected from that damn shot. And if you got it and you were affected too, understand this. Look at the list of side effects that have been issued by Pfizer alone. Look at all of the side effects that have been issued alphabetically, and it just goes on and on and on and on, unfortunately. And listen, I just want to say to you, if you have been a victim of that, or you're afraid that you could be, there's an answer, according to Dr. McCullough, and it's Spike Detox. And I've gotten it so you can get a discount right now. And you could do it by going right here to the link underneath the video, clicking on it, and get Spike Support Formula, because it is the best thing, according to Dr. McCullough, that will allow for the dissolution of spike protein. This is why I've done it. I know that my wife's getting ready to do it, and I'm getting ready to do another round of it. So if this is something that interests you, you could get it. Now, I also want to remind everybody about medical emergency kits, which have general medications like Z-Pak, ivermectin, and amoxicillin. I believe this is medicine that everyone should have in their home. Every family should have this. Because when it comes time when you need a general medication like this, you may find yourself in a position we were just in all around the world, where they won't give it to you. How about that? The link is underneath the video, so not only can you get it, you can get it with a 10% discount. But don't mess around, because sometimes these supplies don't last and they run out. So make sure you go get that stuff right now. Link underneath the video. Why do we need 2% of our purchasing power to be stolen every single year? This is a fantastic point. Listen here real quickly from Natalie Burnell, talking about Bitcoin, obviously, but it's a great point nonetheless.
Most consumers express concerns about the potential collapse of a major cryptocurrency by 2026. Does that have ripple effects in the market?
I would be more concerned about a collapse within the bond market or our current fiat system, because we live in a system that's built on credit, and our money in the bank is not our money, it's an IOU and someone's liability.
I wish she had said debt instead of credit, but we get the point.
And deflation is not compatible with that system, right? It would collapse. And the Fed is trying to do everything it can to tighten, but it doesn't want deflation because we need it to stay solvent. That's what Bitcoiners are really worried about, because we're built on a system of theft at the base layer, inflation. And we celebrate that inflation has come down, but that just means we're celebrating the fact that Americans are paying ridiculously higher prices for everything, and the rate of it getting more expensive is just slowing down and maybe getting back to 2%. But why do we need 2% of our purchasing power to be stolen every single year? I mean, this is...
It's a great point. And, yesterday, if you haven't seen the Week in Review with Black Swan Capitalists, shout out to Verson and Vandell. What a wonderful crew they are, man. I love those guys. They're wonderful. They're super smart. They get it. And I really enjoy speaking with them. And we had a great conversation. And this really points to the surface of what we were talking about yesterday, is really moving from a debt-based society and a debt-based system to a multipolar asset-backed system. More on that in a moment here. But let's keep moving. Small, medium enterprise from Ripple now. This is from Ripple, so stay with me here as we move through this. Small, medium enterprises are increasingly expanding their businesses, but struggle with cross-border payments. Now, this is a narrative we've known, so this is not breaking news for anybody hearing this. However, I do want to take you inside the article. How local banks can win the race to support small business payments. Well, look at what they're doing down here. And just to recap, some of us know this, some of us don't. They highlight the problem with global business-to-business, B2B payments. Small, medium enterprises are seeking new revenue streams as they work to counter inflation, geopolitical tensions, supply chain disruptions, and rising interest rates for many international markets offer a chance to tap into new customer bases and supplier relationships. Now, that's from within inside the SMEs. However, we know about the time saved and all of this from cross-border payments. So I'll skip that portion, right? But let me get down here to what you really need to see, which is right here. Now, and then I want to pick it up with, I think it's right in this area here. The opportunity for local banks. See, take a listen to what they've done here. Now, we know from David Schwartz directly, if the largest banks in the world could turn the button off and turn the switch off on the technology, they would, because they like things the way they are, because the largest banks in the world are the gatekeepers to cross-border payments, and they make more money on the friction of the system the way it is today that they don't want it to change, right? One can understand when you see it from their perch. But look at the angle that's coming here. And think about how close we are to getting legislation. The opportunity for local banks. These challenges can be addressed by modern payment solutions that offer increased speed, cost savings, efficiency, and transparency. Yet, large financial providers often reserve preferred service and pricing for higher revenue generating customers, leaving SMEs, small, medium enterprises, small business, to feel the pain of correspondent banking to a much higher degree. This creates an opening for local banks. In other words, what they're saying is this is an opportunity for the smaller bank to undercut that large gatekeeper, the large bank that is the gatekeeper to cross-border payments, and have access to this new technology that they could connect with the SMEs, these smaller banks, and just get rid of that process that was there before. So this creates an opening for local banks to integrate alternative payment methods with trusted compliant solutions within their existing infrastructure to offer SMEs faster, more reliable payments that are grounded in affordability and transparency. Now listen, this is how Ripple feels about it. Those that do this could fuel the almost biblical migration away from large financial institutions that cannot serve SME cross-border payment needs. In other words, Ripple has positioned themselves to be attractive to the local banks and the SMEs to say, hey, we can save you money and we could help make the local banks more money because now you're able to provide and compete for these cross-border payments for these SMEs, which are smaller in level most of the time, generally speaking, for this conversation, which is why the larger banks are only offering some of this to their high-end clients with larger value payments and better savings. So they're creating this bottom-up strategy that when legislation breaks open, this is going to be a fight, and the local banks, the correspondent banks, are going to have an opportunity to compete on level with the JP Morgans of the world. That's what Ripple are about to kick open. And it's no surprise that we're seeing the XRP ledger featured all around the world here. Latest sighting in Seoul, Korea. Shout out to Emmy Yoshikawa from Ripple for sharing that, and Jay Lee. And Jay Lee is from Catalyze Research there. So I will be reaching out to Catalyze Research here soon, too. I can tell you that. All right. So now, with that being said, rumor or trumor, ladies and gentlemen, breaking. Rumors are circulating that Ripple has paid the $125 million fine to the SEC, with a significant announcement expected next week. Keep an eye out. I don't know. We got to hear from Mr. Intuitive here. Maybe he can help us out. He is the captain of Rumor versus Trumor. I'm going to wait for his call on that one. But we do know this. The SEC has 39 days, which is now down to 36 days left to contend the court ruling on its legal battle with Ripple. As the appeals deadline approaches, this is their time. And if they don't appeal, we're done, baby. We're done here. And the date we're looking for specifically, the clock is ticking, is October 6th or 7th. 7th, I believe it is. Just to reaffirm here, it is October 6th, and that is a Sunday. So we'll have to see. That Monday, October 7th, if we don't hear anything, we should be clear sailing. And remember, the idea that they could appeal would really be a major decision by the SEC to do this, because if they lose on appeal at this level, it could truly shut down the regulation by enforcement on the entire crypto space. So I'm sure that they are weighing very heavily how they would like to move forward or not with that case. So we'll see what goes on there. And meanwhile, we have Ripple Swell coming up. And Brad Garlinghouse says he's most certainly biased, but this Ripple Swell 2024 speaker list and Bloomberg as their official media partner will be the best yet. And I'm super excited for this year's Swell as well. Understanding that we're going to have the Superintendent Adrian Harris from the NYDFS, the New York Department of Financial Services, Sheila Bair from the FDIC. Are you kidding me? I mean, this is remarkable. Founding chair of the Systemic Risk Council, global head of blockchain from BBVA, the security officer from Coinbase, and then the gentleman Tim McCourt from the CME Group. Are you kidding me right now? When I see who is on the lineup here in Miami this year, knowing that they're going to be launching the real U.S. digital dollar on Ethereum and the XRP ledger this year, likely this year, within weeks, if not just a month or so. So, and I'm seeing this level of people at Swell, you know, whether that court case is appealed or not is almost a moot point to me. Because it is quite clear the direction that we're going. And none of these people would be within 100-mile radius of Swell in Miami if there was something not worth touching about this company or the products that they offer, including XRP. And that's why I believe with all of those top-level people being at Swell, that this conversation about the U.S. Treasury and the Federal Reserve possibly reclassifying crypto as currency under the Bank Secrecy Act would, in fact, give the entire banking industry the power to oversee and control crypto. And they've been watching for more than a decade all of their customers walk across the street to get some. This may happen. But if it does, is it good news or a trap? Speaking of traps, we're going into the Freedom Zone. Free speech is under attack like never before. You're not going to believe what you're going to hear and witness right now. I'm about to show you a video clip of our current vice president explaining and making the argument to crush our constitutional right for free speech. And now she's running for president. I'm going to play it for you right now. This is so disturbing. I can't even believe that we have her saying this live on video, but we do. And I'm about to show it to you in the Freedom Zone. Go to digperspective.com, click the Freedom Zone, and come on in for next to nothing. We're getting started right now. Come on in. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. All right, welcome.